Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back for another 4 a.m. Okay, so today we're going to look at the light path node. Now, it's quite hard. The whole thing is quite hard. So I've looked around quite a few websites, got quite a bit of information. So I'm going to try my best to show you what LightPath does. Now, if you want a very in-depth discussion of this and the scientific part of it, then I definitely advise you to go and look at CG Cookie website and just have a little look. Actually, it's not. Yeah, it's blenderguru.com. Done by CG Cookie. If you go on his website, is it CG Cookie? I'll have a look at that many websites, but yeah, Blender Guru anyway. If you go on his website, this is it's absolutely fantastic. He's got a complete downloadable video for you, and it is absolutely fantastic. But it's very in depth, and a lot of basically a lot of science goes into it. So if you want to look at that, then feel free and go to his website, sign up. It's completely free, and then download it. But I'm going to look at this myself and see what I can do with the notes that I've got from all of the websites, including Blender Guru as well. So thanks very much to him for that. So yeah, okay. So LightPath, the LightPath node is used to find out for which kind of incoming ray the shader is being executed. Particularly useful for non-physically based tricks. More information about the meaning of each type is in the LightPath's documentation. So again, as I say, this is just a script off their website, which I follow along with just to try and learn as much as I can of it. So the LightPath one be something that I'm going to have a look at. So it has no input on it at all, and no properties over here, and they all are factor outputs. So the best thing to do, okay, to get that up there a little bit, I'm going to put LightPath up there, and we need a diffuse, and we need a diffuse. And the reason we need that is because we're going to use a mix shader. Okay, so the first one is camera ray, and that's the way we all see it. The camera sees it, we see it. Anyone playing a game now we're making it, that's what we see. Is camera ray is what we see. So if I just plug that into there and plug that into there, that into there. Okay, now the other thing that it can do is it can change what something looks like compared to how it affects the rest of the scene. And again, this is just off. This is by Blender Guru. This what I'm following here. It's often used for optimization purposes, like make a bump map invisible to everything but the camera, and can shave off 30% of your render time. Okay, so I mean, this is not his setup, and this is my setup, what I'm looking at now. But you see this one here. This is a standard. This piece of glass here is a standard piece of glass, basically what I've made, and you see it looks different through there. I'll just add in that there. Okay, so as you see, it's white there, it's blue there. So the LightPath's all about how the light affects through different materials and throughout the rest of your scene. That's what it's all about. So that's the camera ray. Now next you have is shadow ray. So hold on. Now as I say, I am doing my best to actually explain as much of this as possible, the best that I can, but if you do want to see one that's 10 times better, do have a look at Blender Guru website. Okay, so let me just on there. Okay. Now the next one is Shadow Ray. So if we do Shadow Ray through to this, now this is about the shadow that it's creating. As you can see on the walls, it's kind of bluish, if you like. So if I now take this one out and I add in transparent, let's see what happens here. There we go. You now see the shadow of this is now that purpley colour. Sorry, yellowy colour. It's that colour because I haven't got these set to exact white for some reason. For some reason that one's set to complete white for me, but it doesn't matter. As I say, it's just something that I'm just trying to look through at the moment. So Shadow Ray is it's what happens when the object casts a shadow. Diffuse casts a shadow as diffuse only. So again, if I just add that into here, you see there's just a standard shadow what you would see. But if you use the transparent, you can change that colour just so I can basically show you the purpose of what it's for. Now let's see if I can go straight down. Yeah, this takes it back to black. That's fine. As I say, a lot of people do tutorials, but the purpose of my tutorial is so I can learn. And to be honest, I'm not the smartest of people in the world, so if I can put it in a simpler term, then it helps me. And if anybody else is like that, then excuse me, hopefully it helps them as well. Okay, so next we have is diffuse ray. Now the diffuse ray, when seen by other materials, it will be considered to be the second diffuse colour. So if I put here now and I put this one to yellow, that to there, okay. Let's see, just have a look. Right, okay, so then that way, there we go. As you see the shadow on the wall, I can just move that across. Oops. Hide that up. You can see the shadow there is now gaining yellow, but the diffuse only makes it as a diffuse colour basically. So you don't really see a big major difference in it. But you can see where it's casting yellow onto the walls. It would really help if I could get this to be pure white. For some reason I can't. I can't. I can't figure out how to do it for some reason. And generally it'd be just white, but maybe what I need is we go. And that's better. So now if I do, oops, Shift D, and nope, like that. So there, delete those. There we go. Okay, now let's see what we can do. Again, this is, you know, it's all about messing about with it, isn't it? See what that does. No, that just makes that absolutely white. And I'm just trying to, just so we can kind of get a little bit of sense of what exactly I'm talking about. Let's try this. No. Okay, so where's me? Where's my other one? Okay, this one here. So let's see what we can do with this then to try and get this to reflect more. Possibly a reflection. Oops. Just delete that up there. And then I need that mix node again. So here. And if this doesn't work, we'll just carry on. No. Okay. Okay, no problem. I suppose I could do it a bit on there, but that's fine. Okay, so hopefully you do get the point of that. It's how it'll be seen on another material because it's just a diffuse ray. Okay, so next we have the glossy ray. So if I do glossy into there, okay, this one looks a lot better. Okay, so the glossy ray is how it will be seen through something that basically has a transparency on it. So my glass material is transparent, and because it's transparent it also has a gloss inside there as well, which is standardly what transparency is. It has a sort of a gloss on it. So because it's seen through there, it's now seen as the second colour or second diffuse rather than our first diffuse. Now if I was to move that across, it'll do it no matter where I put it, because that's what it is, that's gloss ray. So if I change it to green, it's green. If I change it to a nice girly pink, it's pink. Now I think the light paths, I think they're probably going to be used more as the whole node's going to be used more for like image technology, you know, performing an image like Photoshop or something like that. I would say that that's what this is going to be used for. You're not really going to use this, I would say you're not going to use this anyway. The context is what I'm using, like for game assets and stuff like that. I wouldn't say you'd be using it, but who knows, you could do. And just whilst we're on this, the camera ray, shadow ray, diffuse, glossy, singular, reflection and transmission, all of them have a value of 1 if shading is executed for the reflection for the ray on whichever one it is. Otherwise it's 0.0. But using it in the with the mixture, you don't really have to worry about that. So next we have singular ray. Let's see what this does. Okay, and singular ray. A singular ray is basically the same as a glossy ray, but it only occurs when you use the sharp glossy mode, so only for perfectly clear reflections. So let's do that to sharp. Okay, well that statement's not true. That was on a website, that as well, but that's not true because, as you can see, it works with Beckman, sharp, GGX and multiscatter. It works with all of them. So that was a bit of a lie, but yeah, it's the same as the glossy node, the glossy ray. Okay, so next we then have the reflection ray. Okay, so let's have a look how this. Okay, reflection. Once a ray bounces off something, it becomes a reflection ray. This does not necessarily mean the object is reflective like a mirror, but simply the light bounces off it rather than passing through. Diffuse, glossy and singular rays are sometimes also reflection rays. Okay, so how about where's my sphere? There's my sphere there. Okay, let's try, because I think this might be making it a little bit easier if we try an emission. Okay, and we put that inside there. Can we do this? No. Okay, so let's move that out the way. Let's go there, there, put that into there. Try that through there. Try it through there. Delete that one. I'm just trying to get a higher sense of when things are reflecting and see what they can, see what it's like. But unfortunately I'm not getting that. Okay, so let's see what we can do to try and make these. I suppose actually if we put an emission into here, make that blue, bring that across onto that. Will that work? No. Okay, so that's not going to work at all. Okay, but it looks to me like they are all pretty similar. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. Oh, damn. So that's material. So let's change that to material. Let's change that to material. And find our blurry plane. And that's material too. Okay. So let's add in a glossy. Okay, because this is the one on the floor. I want to see something reflecting from it. Blurry plane. If we add in not an emission. name of what I need now. Diffuse. So let's add a diffuse. So I'll add diffuse in here, just so I can kind of make this a different colour, just so we can see it. Okay, where's it gone? This is... it's been deleted. And that's why it's not working. Okay, there we go. So plain, let's just do middle or something like that. Okay, so we'll do one. That's the glass material. Material 2. I do not know why that's there. But yeah, sure, let's use that for now then. Okay. So this here, let's take this back to white. Inside a mix shader. Glossy. Okay, there we go. So now we can see our ball being reflection. The reflection of our ball is now on this colour here. So if I now change this over to green, you can now see it gets changed to green. I'm sorry that took so long, but this node is absolutely ridiculous. It is ridiculously long. So it's hard to try and put this into like a small video. It does have to be a quite long video. Okay, so now that's done there, we now look at transmission rate. Okay, and transmission rate is going to do the same as before really. So let's have a little look. Now there can be a new setup for this one. So let's get rid of that. Let's select our sphere, add a new. Okay, so material output. Just to see, this again is something that I put off a website, so I'm just gonna try this out. Okay, so blue. Yellow. And then what I need is I need our light path back in anyway, that's what I need. And then a converter math node as subtract. Okay, and then we need glossy bag into value and transmission bag into value. And then add a mix shader, that into there. Let's see if this works. Okay, so again, if we took this one off, you could now see how the transmission rate is again through like a glossy material or a transmission material, so something, you know, basically it changes how the material reacts with a transmission material or transparent material. That's the easiest way to put it. So it'll change through there by putting our glossy right onto it. We then have the whole colour, but then reflects down to here, and that's the easiest way to show that. Again, it's very hard to do, but by one of the websites, it says when a light passes through a surface, whether it's glass, refraction or translucent, it becomes a transmission ray. So that's when the light's coming through to hit your object. So if you imagine, as we're around here, let's take this out of that mode a minute. As we're from here, light comes through the glass and hits the side that's covered there. So it's come, imagine it from our camera, straight down, and it's only hit, we're looking through one side of the glass. So as it's hitting through that side of the glass, that's where the rays are hitting, and that's basically how that works. That's pretty much how this whole light path works, but eventually you may get the hang of it. Okay, so that's transmission. Then we have our ray length, which is useful for faking subsurface scattering. This is how far the ray of light travels between each bounce. Okay, so let's have a little look at this then. Let's get rid of that over there. Let's add that to there. Now, if I could go out of this, because this is obviously, again, this is to do with length. So if I now add that along the X and throw that there, and scale that along the Y a minute. And then I can duplicate that along the Y, throw that over there. Okay, let's have a look. So it's just got a standard diffuse on it there. No, that one. So let's delete that off there. Ah, damn. That's what I want, that. So I can delete that off there. Okay. Delete that. Delete that. Okay, so I guess this alters the way it looks, I think, dependent on the length of the ray trace. So basically, because we're looking from here, most of the rays are hitting this, so this one will be sort of brighter than that one. I'm sure that's how it works. I guess so. Okay, so I started. This only works for shaders which allow light to pass through them, like translucency, glass, and refraction. So if we do like that mirror there. So if we were to, nope, not got there, but duplicate it, grab it along the Y, put that there, on the X onto there, and then if we could do that and delete that, and then add in translucent. Okay, how would that look? One piece. Yeah, I don't really see that one. working at all. But maybe I need a mix shader. I need a mix shader, and then I can throw that through to the surface, and I can throw that through to there, and then that through to there. Help at all? No. Okay, so yeah, I'm out on that one really. Okay, so then let's have a look at the depth. Let's try adding one on this. No. Okay, so very depth. Improving render time and removing dark artifacts in glass. Okay, so this is our glass. If we add in our light path and we do ray depth. Oh, hang on, let me have a look at that again. Alright, okay, that's a bit strange. That's now like kind of showing everything what's behind that should be through it. So like that's now blocked out this here, but showing me the wall and the bottom there. So every time a ray of light bounces off a surface up to its depth increases. This output gives you access to this number, meaning you can change what things look like when they're seen through a certain number of bounces. Okay, so why is it not hitting this? Maybe because this is in front of the ball, because the mirror is in front of the ball, the ray lights are not going past that to hit that, but it's hitting this bottom piece and it's also hitting this wall over here, which is why I'm not seeing that ball or that mirror either. So I suppose that's the only sense of that I can make out. Okay. So then we have ray depth. So ray depth into here again. So this again, it wasn't ray depth that we were on then. No, not ray depth. It was, we're now on transparency, transparent depth. I think, aren't we? So transparent depth. So the transparent depth output is exactly the same as the ray depth output, but with the ray depth it looks at your objects, whereas the transparency is shown through the glass. So it's a bit of a hard one to do this, but yeah. And then we have transmission depth. Let's see that again. Oh, I need to get out of that wall. Okay. So ray length, sorry, just go back on this a minute, is the distance travelled by the light ray from the last bounce or camera. Ray depth, number of times the ray has bounced, i.e. being reflected or transmitted on interaction when with a surface. Note, passing through a transparent shader does not count as a normal bounce. Transparent depth returns the number of transparent surfaces passed through, and then transmission depth replaces the transmission light path after X bounces with another shader, e.g. a diffuse one. This can be used to avoid black surfaces due to low amount of max bounces. It's okay, but you know, as I say, it's not going to be something that you're going to use in like making a game or anything like that. This is I think solely for picture and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there. So that is your light path node. That's what it does. I do apologise that the video has been so long, but you know, that's how it is. So thanks very much, folks, and as I say, if you do want to know about the scientific part of it, then definitely take a look at Blender Guru's website. It is fantastic and there's a lot there, so definitely have a check at that. And Blender Guru, obviously again, you know, thanks, because your website has been great.